All right, so we're back again, and I am Kim Kohse of Veggie and Loving It, and I'm putting this recording out to you. Hopefully, everyone can catch the replay. We are very very happy to be joining Tali Meir of the Enchanted Soul, and she's going to be bringing us, in your words, Tali, what does this workshop entail?
I'm really glad to be here. I'm glad we finally got to set a date.
Yes.
So it's actually Wildly Enchanted Soul.
Oh.
And the point of this business that I sort of created this year is really to explore creativity as a tool to self-compassion. That's really very important to me. And I started basically as an art therapist. I have a degree. And I started working with clients. And when you work with clients, it's not just about them. It's sort of a mirror, you also see yourself. So I started thinking about how important it is to connect to your intuition and follow your own voice. And that is something that might sound very basic, but it's just so many people overlook it. And I just wanted to really focus on that.
Well, yeah, I was telling you earlier, I was quite happy that I stumbled upon your work in this area. I think folks, especially now because of what's going on in the world, we would definitely benefit in a large way, actually, from what you're doing. You're the expert in the field. We're just definitely looking to grab a couple action steps, things we can use actually moving forward from this workshop. And yeah, that'll be extra goodness in our lives, I think, moving forward. And thanks again, Tali.
Yes, no, it's definitely, you're right about that. I mean, it starts with yourself and being comfortable with yourself and knowing what you want to do. So I wanted to get into 3 steps: capture, nurture, and redirect. I just wanted to say up front that you can do this in a journal if you want to work in a journal, but you can also do it on a notepad, just loose pages. I do that sometimes, and then I transfer it to a journal later, but it really is about what's comfortable for you. And that's throughout this entire 3 steps, really what matters the most. To connect to yourself and not to feel that you have to do things because you think that's right. So that means, in basic terms, to ask yourself the question, what am I feeling right now? And to return to your breath every time, because we tend to lock the breath up here and go to our minds, and then we forget almost that we have a body.
Yeah.
So with the capture practice, I really want to focus on grounding, and really scan your body and to see, well, where are you seated? Are you lying down? Are you, what kind of position are you? Feel your feet, feel your whole body, and focus on the breath. So I do like 4 counts slowly in and 6 counts slowly out. And do that a few times, just so that you can really calm down and really get into the now. So obviously, like right now, I'm doing it in a certain tempo, but when you're at home alone, you can really take the time that you need to really get into that space. So now I'm going to move to the next step, which is the infinity symbol. Let me just draw that for a second. So basically, it's like an 8.
Yes.
And what you're going to do is you take your pen and your paper, and you're going to, I'm just going to do this a little bit awkwardly like this, but obviously you're going to be seated and you're going to focus on the paper. You're going to look at the pen, and then you're going to start to follow the line. And I don't know if you can see what I...
Okay, now I can see, yeah.
So you can go like bigger and then smaller, but it's very important that you do this on your breath, that you stay in a very slow pace. Don't go too fast. And make it big and then small, kind of play around. And look at the line as you do it. You can also press a little bit harder at times and then softer at other times. And really let the symbol unfold. You can use the whole page if you want, or half of it. But really get in sync into it. And then as you do this, I want you to pay attention to your thoughts. And your thoughts are like clouds. They're passing by. But that's all. So without judgment, without feeling that you shouldn't think that or it's not right, because in all these exercises, there is no right or wrong. There just is what you notice. So you see them, and you will continue this for as long as you need to, because we know ourselves when we're done with something. But for now, I'm just going to stop here. And then you're going to, again, take a breath and write down, on, if you have space on the page or otherwise another one, write down what thoughts came to your mind. And you don't have to write a story, just 1 or 2 sentences like, oh, I just thought I forgot to buy milk, or somebody said this today to me, or like things like that. And you make a list of these thoughts. And again, it's very important not to judge yourself. Just look at it, just observe it.
Okay. And of course, one day to the next, you might have a lot of different things coming up.
Yeah, for sure. You can do this also when you feel very overwhelmed and you just feel like, it's like emptying your thoughts out on the page and looking at it. And then it's different than when they're roaming around in your subconscious and you don't really know about it. So once you wrote all the thoughts down, you're going to the step of nurture, which really is attention. And I mean, I speak for myself, but a lot of times I forget how important attention is, and particularly attention from myself to the things I do. It seems so obvious, very easily. I remember that I specifically thought companies literally pay billions just for your attention. I mean, for me, this is a very clear example to sort of realize how important it is.
Right.
And so it's also important for yourself to pay attention to, what you're doing and what your thoughts are. And that is a part of nurturing. It's like watering a plant. And so you're going to look at these thoughts, and now you're going to take perhaps another page, most likely, because there's not a lot of space.
Right.
And you're going to write more like a reflection. So it's not just 1 sentence or 2, but you're just kind of going to let yourself go on the page. What comes to your mind when you see those thoughts? And again, it's important to not judge, but to just describe, as if you're telling a story to your friend about someone else. So not in the emotion, but just you're observing it. And again, with this as well, it's important to focus on the breath. Just feel your body again, to really bring yourself in your body. And then you give yourself the time that you need to do that. So it could be a few minutes, it could be half an hour. Just let your pen go on the page as much as you need to do.
So it's basically you're doing what I've heard before, something like a brain dump. Is that similar?
Yes, it's similar. Yes, you're right about that.
You're giving, respect to each and every thought. And
yes, and it also is a practice of not judging yourself, like observing. So when you're in the observation mode, it's more like a sort of curiosity, like what's happening. And when you're doing that on the page, you're also get better at it in day-to-day life. Like you start to automatically do that. And that's really super powerful.
I was going to ask you, Tali, if you're someone who talks a lot by nature,
Mhm.
I've had women reach out to me, and I am definitely part of that. Does this, yeah, could you see results, see you slowing down and being more methodical after doing this practice? Is that the sort of result you could see from this, or no?
Yes, yes, that's the sort of result you can see. You will notice that and I sort of compare it with as if you're walking with your friend into the mall shopping, or your sister, and she's walking a little bit too fast, and you just kind of kindly grab her with her arm and say, wait a minute. It's kind of like this, that you can catch your judgment in the moment when it happens, and you start to notice that you get faster at that. That maybe first it takes you days, and then some point you can do it pretty quickly, like just a few minutes after, and you say, wait, oh, stop. And it's really cool when you
I
start
like
to
this.
know.
I have to say, I'm already, yeah, because we've been speaking previously with many ladies now that are deeply into meditation and yoga, self-care,
Yeah,
because this is all pretty much this lifestyle, the plant-based lifestyle. I definitely want to get across to folks, like once you start, it opens up a whole new way of living. And
yeah,
yeah, if you're taking care of the inside, oh, most certainly you got to be taking care of the outside as well. And this kind of bridges between the two. So
yeah.
I'm absolutely going to adopt this, Tali, from now on. I'm going to have a special journal, just like you're saying, moving forward. All right, so let's get back
That's
to
great.
it, I guess.
Yeah. So now we're going to step 3, which is redirect. So now you're going to step back from what you've just written, and you're going to look at what it is that you see. So do you see a theme? Do you see that you are thinking a lot about what other people think about you, or what you said, if that was correct or not, or maybe things? And then you make a sort of mini action plan around this. So for example, if you find that people violate your boundaries a lot, that you feel frustrated about situations afterwards, now's the moment to examine this and to say, okay, what happened? How did I feel? And what was the boundary that was crossed?
Absolutely.
Because a lot of times when these things happen, they happen so fast that we can't really pick up exactly what that boundary was. And now you're sort of getting it into your consciousness, like, where's this boundary? And then you're going to write down what you would want to do. So because you're now consciously doing this, it's more likely next time when things happen that it is already in your head, that you already, first of all, know where this boundary is, that you know what to do. So it doesn't have to be anything extreme, it can be very small. Like, for example, okay, I'm finished with the conversation right now. Just something that's really, it's not any conflict or something, but very small. But that can help you already a lot, and particularly when you're aware of it.
So
And if it's like things, like you have a lot of to-do things in your head, then it can be creating a list, for example, grocery list, maybe beginning of the week or every evening, that you kind of check. It depends on who you are as a person as well, like how much time you have and how much time you want to spend on this thing. So you can create these little like action steps to these things. And that's really, it can give you a lot of revelation yourself, a lot of insight.
right, like even in the way of prioritizing, do you mean?
Yeah, as well. But you will see what's happening in your mind, like what is keeping you busy in the day. What is filling your head, basically. That's very telling.
Yeah, you're
So
analyzing, really.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And now you see it, it's like facts. It's written on paper. So you can take that literal distance from it. You don't have to feel emotionally attached like you did before. And it's literally become visible. So that's really powerful. Seeing
Right.
it on the paper, you all of a sudden see, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know that I was thinking so much about these things.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking to someone about this a couple days ago, actually. And yeah, it was in the way of giving away your power, basically. You're giving such time and thought, your concern about something or maybe an action of someone. Truly, yeah, it's in a way you are giving away your power. It's your time, it's your happiness. If you are going over something and it's concerning you and it's that your thoughts are going through your mind like that. But if you are able to separate yourself and realize, yeah, everything is in there for a reason. Your thoughts are your own, and you can create that objectivity. And yeah, don't give attention to things that necessarily don't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, our head is not a storage space, you know, like sometimes we pretend it's like a cupboard or like a closet and we just put everything in there.
Right.
And you can literally get those thoughts out. And the, the, the thing that I wanted to mention as well is that you can go as crazy or creative as you want to with this sign, for example, you know, this infinity symbol. You can use a pen, but you can also use a brush. You can use paint. You can use crayons. You can use a bigger sheet of paper. And you can actually make it a lot more like physical as well, that you're actually moving your body as you're moving your body along with the symbol. So just to get back at the intuition, you know, and your feelings, you can direct it in what feels good for you. And that's also really great because it's very diverse per person.
Yeah, it will be different for each individual for sure.
Yeah, and
So
I want to encourage people as well to allow yourself to just explore with this and
give
let
yourself
yourself go a
permission.
little bit, you know.
Right. Yeah, give yourself permission to actually, take the time. I
Yeah,
know we all
exactly.
have very little, it seems, but the
Yeah,
first thing, yeah, is the baby step, giving yourself that little bit of time, you know.
yeah, and it's important. It's not a minor thing, because when you're connected to yourself, then it has impact on everybody around you as well. So it's really important, particularly now in this time. We really
Yeah,
have to nurture ourselves.
yeah, everybody's been in together and cooped up. They're really looking forward to getting back more into, activities and such. But yeah, take
Yeah,
the time, yeah, to take
I
care of
also
yourself.
noticed, for example, in the beginning of this whole situation, that there was a lot of focus on not wasting time and to produce. And I thought to myself, that was interesting because I don't really think that we can waste time. And particularly if you're not producing, I don't think that that's a waste of time, you know, like we kind of got carried away with the we have to do things that when you
Multitasking.
start yeah, exactly, it's like, oh, I have to fill this up. And no, it's okay to just sit and
That's so strong. That's such an important point, Tali. Yeah, we've got this default mindset that started quite a few years ago, I think, of trying to jam in as many things into a time block that we can. And like I
yeah,
mentioned a couple seconds ago, multitasking, it is not good for us. Someone
no.
had the idea that perhaps it was a good thing to be a multitasker and be proud of it. No, no, no. You really got to stand up and say, you know what? No, this is not good. Let's do 1 to 2 activities maximum, and then let's look
Yeah,
forward to the next, time block so we can work on that other item.
yeah, exactly.
Right.
Totally.
So, yeah, so how did you get into this originally, Tali? And yeah, because I'm just curious, was this part of your studies?
Journaling, not specifically, but creativity was, and I learned a lot of with you know, the connection between body and creativity and mind. And it just fascinates me because when you work creatively, you tap right into feelings. And so you get the feelings out of the paper or in the canvas of what you do. And it's very different because a lot of times we are busy with our rational mind and we're thinking and thinking. So that was really what inspired me to see how that happens. And then I really like to write. So I started to combine these things, and as
It's
I went along, yeah, you just sort of,
it's a great outlet.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
and it's
get into
wonderful
it.
that you're teaching it. Any nuggets that you would want to share with our ladies that sort of are a higher priority, something they can put into action right away after watching our workshop here?
Well, I have some tips. I'm not sure, like, you
Mhm.
can't put this in action, but so one of the few things that it's really helpful is to work with themes if you're going to journal.
Okay.
So it's to pick a theme. So for example, I have a spiritual journal as well.
Mm.
So you can focus on your spiritual practice and what kind of rituals you are interested in and what is the meaning. You can sort of, experiment with that. You could also use the theme of work, if you want to go into a different work field or and
Business. Yeah.
yeah, business, and really write down what your strengths are, what you see, what kind of strengths you see with yourself and what kind of challenges. Because then you have it also in your journal. You can really focus much better on improving things when you see it happening on the page.
So
And
in any area of your life, you really truly could journal
yeah,
and build.
yes, you can. So you can pick a theme, and that really gives you a focal point. So there's not like too much. And the other thing that I really want to advise people is to pick a journal that is not too expensive. Like I have this one, for example. It's a very simple one
It's very
that I
pretty.
showed you before. Nowadays, I don't know, but where I live, there's a lot of journals and they're not so expensive. You have, of course, expensive ones.
Mhm.
But it's really good to start with one that's not too expensive, that looks a little, okay. Or you can put a paper on it, like a cover. You can make
Your own.
a cover. Yes, you can decorate it, like I did with this one, for example, where it was just a plain, boring journal, and I put something on myself.
Oh, I love it.
Um,
Very creative indeed. Mhm.
and then you can allow yourself to sort of focus on what you want to write and what you want to experiment with, and without getting a little nervous about, oh, this is a very expensive journal and
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin the pages. And you can always, when you find yourself getting into a specific theme or something that you really know, okay, I'm going to commit to this, you can always choose, okay, I'm going to direct it into a journal that's more expensive. And then it can be like a project. So that's definitely something I want to advise people. And yes,
I was just thinking, I put out a little post there earlier about our astrological signs. You could even do that. You know,
yes, yeah, for sure. I mean, I even have one, this might be a bit silly, about my wardrobe. And I always take everything to personal development level. So even with my wardrobe, I kind of look at it as an evolution
mhm.
of me as a person. Like, what kind of clothes do I have now? What kind of emotions are attached to that? What's like underneath it? So I really like to explore that. So you can go as deep as you want to go, or
There are no limits.
yeah, exactly. That's it. Um, for sure. And follow your curiosity and experiment. So, and oh, another thing before I forget, because that's really important, it
Mhm.
can be that the theme is not interesting to you, that you stop writing or focusing on it, maybe because of situation, maybe it's not the right moment. And I really want to encourage people to let that happen and not be judgmental about it, not be like, it's failed, because there is no failing. You can always put it away and give yourself a bit of time, and maybe you continue with it, or maybe you go on with something else. And then I always see the project that I didn't finish as that it sort of instigated a new project. You know, like I see it as part of it, not like I failed or I stopped. Because I heard some people say that, and it's, you know,
Yes,
it's
I've heard
important
that
to,
as well. Yeah.
yeah, it's important to frame it in a really like constructive way, that you can sort of allow yourself to say, no, that wasn't the right time, or this is not what I do right now, and that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, you're giving yourself grace.
Yeah, exactly.
Much
Yeah.
needed. That's for sure. Well, your journaling, this is a breath of fresh air. Like I said, I've thought about journaling, but I haven't quite got into it yet. This is exactly what I needed.
Great.
So yeah, and it was really nice, also Tali, to see your creative take on things and your artwork. If someone wanted to also take a look at some of your artwork, where would they go? What would be the best place to guide them?
They can go to my Instagram, which is Wildly Enchanted Soul. Um, or you can go to my website, which is wildlyenchantedsoul.com. And I'm
Okay.
of course also on Facebook.
Oh, okay. And you do have some of your lovely works featured there?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, I think it's a wrap for today. I am very, very, very thankful that you joined us today, Tali.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, not at all. Yes, very, very glad. I think we're going to be doing something closely linked to what you're talking about, but a little bit different, again, moving towards plant-based as well. So everyone stay tuned for next week. And yeah, we'll sign off for now, and we'll definitely get to speak to you again in the future, Tali, and I look forward to that.
Me too. Thank you so much.
All right, enjoy the evening.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.